But wait, what's World of Warships? World of Warships is the naval action MMO, dipping into the world of large-scale sea battles of the first half of the 20th century. Epic battles range across the oceans of the world in order to claim victory among teams comprised of the greatest representatives from an era of multi-ton marine giants. In order to achieve victory in battle, players must enjoy a wide range of strategy and a variety of tactical decisions. Sudden ambushes, cunning flanking attacks, open confrontation, and head-on assaults. Captains must strive to find an ideal way to deliver a decisive blow at the enemy. Tactical diversity in World of Warships comes from the inclusion of many different classes of warships, including aircraft carriers capable of providing remote air support and striking targets at extreme range, colossal battleships that protect power across a vast swath of ocean, and light and heavy cruisers with the capability to respond quickly to changing battlefield conditions. Stealthy and agile destroyers can be highly effective in group attacks. So don't wait. Join World of Warships today for free and rule the oceans.
A true warborn, her innovations witnessed for the first time. She was born in peace to bring war to those that opposed her and her brethren. Her birth sparked an arms race, one never before seen, for it was worldwide. She was the first true big gun battle wagon. Her birth instantly made all before her obsolete. Her name sparked a class as well as a type of ship known the world over as Dreadnought. More precisely, HMS Dreadnought was a wonder of naval shipbuilding, even for the world's most powerful navy at the time, the British Royal Navy. Classes built before the Dreadnought eventually gained the name pre-Dreadnought, and many that came after Dreadnought were simply known as Super Dreadnoughts. At her birth, HMS Dreadnought was the single most powerful and deadly ship to ever sail the seas. Her innovations, many seen for the first time, exuded power, speed, and maximum armament. HMS Dreadnought completely changed the game concerning capital ships. A naval arms race began around the world. All major powers were trying to build a Dreadnought of their own. Germany instantly felt the weight of Dreadnought. The German Navy already at the Royal Navy's mercy. This pushed the German Navy to push for their own capital ships. This naval arms race fueled the already strained relations between the British and Germany. Tensions increased. This tension, another ember ready to spark a conflict that soon became the First World War. The Kriegsmarine did build their own dreadnoughts, but ultimately focused on commerce raiding with their U-boat fleet, but that's a story for another time. HMS Dreadnought had quite a few new refinements that changed the perspective of a capital ship, but the two arguably biggest revolutionary designs were her all-big gun armament instead of big and small main guns, and her steam turbine propulsion system. Her steam turbines produced enough power to make her the fastest battleship of her time. Her design made all battleships built before her instantly obsolete, even those of the Royal Navy, thus triggering said naval arms race, with countries scrambling to keep up with the HMS Dreadnought's capabilities. HMS Dreadnought was conceived in 1904 when Admiral Sir John Fisher became the first Lord of the Admiralty. Known as the father of the Dreadnought, he wanted designs drawn up of a capital ship, a battleship, to be armed solely with 12-inch guns and a speed around 20 to 21 knots. The late 1800s had brought new problems concerning naval gunnery. Long past were the wooden ships of the line sailing parallel with one another, exchanging broadsides, point blank. Naval gunnery had reached the point where there were distances of 6,000 yards or more, a distance that required gunnery to wait before rearming and firing another salvo. The biggest issue with older capital ship designs, the arrangement of small and big guns, when fired, could confuse the gunners who had to use their splashes to gauge range, with the smaller guns splashing having the potential to confuse the gunners and the rangefinders who had to use their sight to gauge range. The advent of better torpedoes also contributed to the future naval engagements of longer distances in fear of the opponent's torpedoes, which would threaten them under 6,000 yards. Vittorio Cunaberte wrote the first concepts of an all-big gun battle wagon, which became a major inspiration for HMS Dreadnought's design. The steam turbine, being invented in 1884 by Charles Parsons, revolutionized how ships received their propulsion, with two of his turbine designs powering Dreadnought, making her the fastest big gun battle wagon afloat at the time of her birth. Dreadnought was the sixth ship of the Royal Navy to bear that name, which means fear nothing. Fisher's plan was to build this ship in 1 year. She was formally laid down at HM Dockyard in Portsmouth, the fastest building shipyard of the time. Just over a year after construction started on her, HMS Dreadnought sailed out of her own power for 2 days for sea trials. She was commissioned into the fleet on December 11th, 1906, a mere 15 months after she was laid down, an astonishing feat. Upon completion, HMS Dreadnought displaced 18,120 long tons dry and 20,730 long tons loaded. She was 527 feet long, had an 82 foot 1 inch at the beam, was 29 feet 8 inches at draught, with load powered by 18 Babcock Wilcox bowlers, producing 23,000 ship horsepower, driving 4 shafts and 2 steam turbines, producing 21 knots, with a range of 6,620 nautical miles at 10 knots. Her crew complement was originally 700, then increased to 810 in 1916. Her motto, which was a fitting one, was "Fear God, Dread Not." She was armed with 5 twin-turret, 12-inch main guns, and 27 3-inch guns, and 5 18-inch torpedo tubes. She was also armored to the hilt with 4 to 11-inch belt armor, 1-inch to 3-inch deck armor, 4-inch to 11-inch barbettes, 3-inch to 12-inch turret armor, and 11-inch armor at the conning tower, with 8-inch bulkheads. Her uniform main battery and her steam turbines were first used on HMS Dreadnought. She was a capital ship and a cannibal. A cannibal because she was a capital ship designed to eat and destroy others of her kind. Her range depended on her fuel, and she carried 2,808 long tons of coal and 1,120 long tons of fuel oil to give her that 6,000 plus mile range at sea. Her main guns were 12-inch Mark 10 guns and 5 twin turrets. The gun turrets were located along the ship's center line, A turret, 4 and X and Y turrets aft. She also sported P and Q wing turrets, 1 port and 1 starboard of the superstructure. This meant she could deliver an 8-gun broadside 60 degrees before the beam and 50 degrees after the beam. The projectiles weighed 850 pounds with a 2,725 foot per second muzzle velocity and a range of 16 to 18,000 yards. She housed 80 rounds per gun and had a 2 round per minute fire rate per gun. Her 5 18-inch submerged torpedo tubes had 23 torpedo complement. HMS Dreadnought also saw innovations in fire control. She was one of the first ships to use electrical transmission equipment to transmit range, order, and deflection info to the turrets. A 9-foot Barnstroud FQ2 rangefinder using a Dumaressa mechanical compilers and Vickers range clocks. She also implemented the use of voice pipes to relay information. A fire control creator provided the turrets data they needed. 3 100 kilowatt, 100 volt DC Siemens generators powered 2 Merlays design engines. These operated 5 lift elevators, 8 coal winches, 8 pumps, lighting, phone systems, etc., etc. HMS Dreadnought's appearance instantly obsoleted the capital ships forever designed or forever designated pre-dreadnoughts, and she inspired the rapid growth of the big gun battle wagon, and unfortunately the idea of a battle cruiser, which apexed in the HMS Hood. We all know what happened to HMS Hood in World War II. If you haven't, check out my videos. I have a video in my playlist on this particular event. HMS Dreadnought, though, for all her excitement, didn't have much effect in the role she was intended to fill, but she was able to sink U-29, the only submarine sunk by a ship in World War I, or a battleship in World War I. She also was relegated to coastal defense in 1916, rejoining the Grand Fleet in 1918. She entered the Naval Reserve in 1919 before being scrapped in 1921. HMS Dreadnought was a ship name and a class, as well as an all-big gun battle wagon design that mimicked the HMS Dreadnought's main attributes that were created by other countries. Though she was scrapped in 1921, her legacy lived on, sparking the Royal Navy to start building super dreadnoughts. And as such, one big gun battle wagon was HMS Warspite, a battleship that saw 2 world wars, known as the Grand Old Lady. Warspite will have her own section on CoolKegs soon. Her story deserves her own episode. Thanks for joining me on this trip back in time to visit HMS Dreadnought. Please like, subscribe, hit that noti bell. I'll be forever grateful. It helps our channel tremendously. Thanks again for joining me on this, and I'm Big Duke 6 from CoolKegs Studios. Until next time, Civis Pacem Parabellum. If you want peace, prepare for war.